Okay, now I'm going to show you some producer's tricks here. We're taking a completely different approach initially here because we're actually going to be creating some of our more authentic sounding distortion with an EQ and compressor. And we're going to look at some other things too. But ultimately, we want to go for some natural tube sounding warm distortion and not something brittle or fake sounding. So, what I've set up here is a couple of PSP tools. One is the vintage warmer, and we're doing quite a bit of boost on it to drive it. That's going to help us get the overdrive we want. And then, that's an insert, keep that in mind. Second in the insert chain is the classic Q, which is also made by PSP. Now, this is an interesting tool, and it's pretty recent. And it's comparable to some of the more expensive tools out there that are hardware-based, such as UAD. But I think it's under 150 for 4 EQs, and you don't have to buy any hardware. So the quality is comparable. As a matter of fact, on guitar, it tends to be a little more bitier, but with a really nice kind of harmonic distortion. And what we're doing here is driving it pretty hard. We're using the saturation feature, which helps it to create a denser tone and gives it a little more of a tube saturation quality to it. We're also doing some high frequency roll off just so that we help that guitar to fit into the mix better. But we're also boosting low frequencies, low mid frequencies, and high mid frequencies considerably here, and some upper range frequencies as well. So there's a lot of boosting going on, which is part of how we're accomplishing the tone we're going after. Now, we're not using any cabinet emulation currently. I've got this turned off. And so we're just hearing the guitar through a compressor and an EQ with some reverb on it. Yeah, as you can see, we're getting a little more of an authentic amp sound without actually using an amp. And that's what I like about the EQs, the PSP Classic series. And they all have a kind of old school, nice, slightly distortion, good quality distortion built into them, which you can control. Now, if we take that and we're going to actually use the cabinet again, which we saw before, we're going to use it as a send, because I think as an insert, it colors the sound too much in a way that we really don't want.